Welcome everyone. Let's start the webinar then. Today is all about BIMx, especially on focus on remote design presentation with it. So if you're ready, let's jump in and let's spend roughly about an hour together getting to know BIMx and see how it can help you communicate with your team, your client, and all other stakeholders. I encourage you to use the live caption functionality of Microsoft Teams to get subtitles in 6 languages. And feel free to ask questions. My colleagues are in the background. We'll be able to answer all your questions. And at the end, we're going to have a live Q&A session. So let me introduce myself. I'm Ákos Karóczkai. I'm an architect by education. I work at Graphisoft as a BIM consultant. I have been doing trainings and presentations for a number of years now, and I'm also a parametric design expert at the company. Besides this, I'm teaching, of course, ARCAD at the Technical University of Budapest. So, and today I would like to show a couple of things about BIMx to you. So let's see what we're gonna hear about today, or what I would like to tell you today. First of all, we would like to cover the main functionalities of BIMx. What is BIMx at all, and how can it benefit you and your business? We'll go through all the basic functionalities, so you will be familiar by the end of the webinar and quite confident on how to use BIMx. To communicate your design on one hand, I will show you a couple of tips and tricks on how you can get your design into BIMx from ARCAD. There are several ways. And I would like to show you a glimpse on how to use not just the mobile application, but the web viewer interface as well. And also I will show you a glimpse into Graphisoft Lab and a little bit into the future, what we are planning, what is cooking. And at the end, we're going to have a live Q&A session. So let's see what BIMx is. And for this, right away, I will shift to my iPad and show you what BIMx is. In general, it's a Graphisoft mobile application, award-winning mobile application for communication and presenting your design. I will use 2 sample projects that we've developed here at Graphisoft. One of these is the S Office that I'm going to present to you now. So BIMx is fundamentally a mobile application that is supposed to help you communicate, presenting your design to whomever you are communicating with. This can be your client, your external consultants, authorities, builders, anyone involved in the project. As you can see right away, it's a 3D viewer of your project. You can navigate around it fairly easily, but it's much more than that. It's a 3D and 2D complete project documentation tool, as it contains not only just a 3D model, but the entire layout structure that you develop in ARCAD. So here we can handle folders, and we can right away query all the different documentation to the documentation that you have been developing in ARCAD. And it's not just a 2D documentation tool, but as you can see here, we have a couple of these blue dots. In fact, BIMx is a hyperlinked, thankfully to the hyperlink technology, this is an all-connected model. So we can, on one hand, open sections, for example, but at the same time we can show it in context of the building, so it makes it much more easy and much more comprehensible and understandable for all the project stakeholders, especially in case of clients. We know all that client that they are not too proficient in reading 2D drawings, so it can come very handy to help you communicate with them. So on one hand, we can show around the documentation. With smooth transitions, we are switching between 2D and 3D, and at the same time, it can all be interactive. So you can slice your building, you can move around this cutaway, to make it understandable what's going on in your design. So it's free to navigate through the project. Okay, so now you've seen that there is a 2D and 3D documentation, but there are a couple of functionalities that help you communicate more easily. So let's take a look at floor plan. All 2D documentation are PDF based, so there's barely any quality loss when you zoom in. And to help you communicate with your, for example, even with your fellow designers in case of a design meeting, we have a measure tool functionality that can help you get additional information about the model. We can measure lengths, areas, angles, so this can support your presentations, for example. And this both works in 2D and 3D as well. It can snap to particular model elements, and you can get accurate information out of the model with it. So you could see that it's all about documentation and 3D. But since AutoCAD is a BIM software and we have a lot of practical metadata within the project, we also would like to access it on demand. So let's just go back to the 3D model and let's take a look at the cafeteria area of this building. So the model also contains all the BIM data that we've been developing within AutoCAD as a BIM authoring tool. So if we tap on an element, we can query information about it. For example, in case of this wall, we can see the ID, we can see the height, width, geometrical information, surface areas, and also we can include additional information, for example, URLs or actual product information. So for example, if I query this chair, or yeah, let's just go back to the wall, you can see that it can bring you to an external URL. If in case that's a product, you can directly bring your client or your fellow designers to a particular location on the internet. Okay, so now you're familiar with how we can access 3D, 2D, and metadata information with the help of BIMx. But BIMx is an all-around presentation tool. So besides just navigating around in the project, you can also put together presentations. These are saved views, basically. They can be 3D or 2D, it doesn't matter. And you can organize them however you like to support your story, thus preparing a slideshow, and more than just a simple PowerPoint presentation. It can be an interactive all-around presentation that you can play these slides, and along with it you can explain the contents, the context of the building, the design ideas behind it, and at the same time the smooth transitions are helping you to present a continuous story. And at the same time, if you choose to navigate from and if there are questions, for example, throughout the presentation, and you choose to navigate from the slideshow, you can just jump back right directly into the slideshow and continue the presentation. And as you can see, again, you can play this whole slideshow. You can jump between 2D and 3D content to make it more comprehensible, and you could convey your design ideas and your entire design. It can be an automatic or manual process, how you are controlling the presentation, and again, you can deviate from the presentation and jump back to it. All right, so you could see that it's an all-around presentation and communication tool, BIMx is. So let me summarize the main functionalities. So it's a hyperlinked 3D model with all the 2D contents to help you navigate within the project. With the measure tool and the presenter, you can effectively communicate even details about the project, and the transitions and the 3D cutaway functionality can help you put things into context, whether they are just simple floor plans or sections about the building. In case of larger buildings, obviously we can have many sections, and it can be pretty difficult, for example, for clients to understand where are we in the building, and this can help them quite a lot. So yeah, let's continue to some little more advanced functionalities that can help you communicate your design. On one hand, if you are working in a team using BIM Cloud in your ArcAD project, that means that you have a lot of stakeholders inside your company and ultimately outside your company as well. And for that, you can join in right away into teamwork projects from BIMx, which allow you to have messaging and redlining functionalities. So let's take a look at those as well. Well, this particular project is a teamwork project that a couple of our colleagues have joined in. So let's say I'm on the construction site or in a client meeting, and I would like to let the team know about some issues, for example, the curtain wall. And for that, I can send a message directly to the office so that they will get an ArcAD notification and a message inside the ArcAD teamwork project. So for example, I would like to address this message to my colleague Szabolcs. I have two Szabolcses here, but I would like to send it to Szabolcs Kari, who did a webinar 2 weeks ago. And let's say I can capture this view of the model, and I would like to redline it a little bit to please take a look at this corner joint. Please take a look at this connection. And when I send this message, Szabolcs will not only get a picture of it and a note from my view, but thankfully to the built-in messaging functionality, it will bring him to the exact 3D location within the model. So he will be able to right away see and navigate to this particular position, so that we can be sure that we are talking about the same thing. Ultimately, I could even attach some photos or take some photos with my iPad or with my iPhone, or and attach it to the message if I'm on the construction site, for example. But let's just send this smart screenshot about this particular position. So now I'm sending the message, and Szabolcs will right away see it back in the office, and he can jump on the problem and fix it. So this way you can shorten down design cycles and shorten down the way of communication between the various stakeholders. And these can be among designers, or we can include the builder or the client even into this flow of communication. All right. Besides BIM Cloud integration, messaging, and redlining, there is also a functionality in BIMx that you can print right away from the application. So hopefully this will help you to even eliminate paper-based documentation at all in general. But if you do actually need some printed materials, you can use the built-in AirPrint or Google Cloud Print if you're on Android functionalities to print a particular sheet. So I can just share it, and I can say print. I can choose to select the entire drawing or just the current position or problematic area that I'm addressing with this, or fit to page. So let's take a look at this. Luckily I have a printer here, and I can get a preview of it right away. What am I gonna print? So this is also a pretty useful functionality if it comes to construction sites, or even to internal design meetings, or where you want to sketch on top of these drawings. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. And as you can see here, I have an additional item, VR cardboard. So for this, I would like to show you a video, because it would be quite difficult to show through a webinar on with my phone. So BIMx also has VR capabilities by utilizing Google Cardboard. So if you have a mobile phone and you have a very cheap piece of Google Cardboard kit, you can very easily turn it into a VR experience. So you can just simply put in your phone into this VR cardboard, and by doing so, you can switch into the split view, so that you have a full-on VR experience, and you can right away walk around in your design. You can change the walking speed of your navigation, and you can jump around between various pre-saved locations. And actually, a lot of our clients and a lot of our clients, they love it, because it's a so immersive experience that they can directly walk around in their future homes or in their future developments. And as you can see here, we have some of these pre-saved gallery items, and we can very easily navigate through the entire project. So if you want, you can give it a go. It's a really cool thing. Okay. Now, so now you're quite familiar about what BIMx can do for you. So let's see how you can get your design into BIMx from AutoCAD. There are several ways, and let me show you these. So I have the AutoCAD version of the same as Office project here, and as you can see, it's a BIM Cloud project. So to be able to transfer this design within AutoCAD into BIMx, you have to create a publisher set where you pick and choose what you would like to include into this folder structure, and what model parts you would like to include. So on one hand, these are simple layouts that you can include into the project, and I highly encourage you to not just include actual drawings and floor plans, sections, elevations, detailed drawings about your project, but you can also put some PPT slide-like content onto these layouts, and this helps you to create a more immersive and interactive presentation using the BIMx presenter. I quite often do that to include not just the building, but actual presentation slides. So going back here, you can include drawings and sheets, but at the same time you can include multiple 3D models to be able to convey more and more aspects about the building. So here we have the structure, or for example the zone layout of the building. All of these can help you transfer your message to different audiences, for example. So let's say you've put together a publisher set inside the navigator, and you can select between two options to create a BIMx file. On one hand, you can upload a BIMx hypermodel onto our transfer site. A little bit more about that later. Or you can just simply save a local BIMx file, and then you put it up on your cloud provider, for example iCloud or Dropbox, Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, and later on, you directly from BIMx you can add your model from these cloud service providers. So Saving a file locally or up in a cloud solution is one way to export or transfer your BIMx project or ArchiCAD project into BIMx. Or the other way is that, as I mentioned, to upload a BIMx hyper model into our BIMx transfer site. So you can select if you're an SSA customer, you can also have private folders. So let me show what this BIMx transfer site is. So it's BIMx.graphisoft.com, where you can store all your projects in BIMx format. And for example, let's take a look at another one of our sample projects, this hillside house. And you can see all the details about it, the file size. You can download the BIMx file from another desktop if you log into this BIMx transfer site. You can change the visibility of such models from public. You can make them private if you're an SSA customer, or you can even password protect them. Also for SSA customers, you get a 3 GB free storage, so you can upload many projects into this transfer solution. And another advantage of uploading your projects into the BIMx transfer site is that if you, and of course there are a lot of changes in architectural design projects, and you tend to upload newer and newer BIMx files to here. And thanks to the smart system behind it, we are only handling the changes within the project. So if you are uploading a changed floor plan or another design variation, you don't have to upload and download the entire project all the time. You will get only the incremental changes, and you will be able to download them into BIMx. And you also get a push notification about it. And at the same time, another advantage, if you choose to upload your project to the transfer site, is that we also have a web viewer version of BIMx. So far, because so far I've been showing you the mobile application on my iPad, but as you can see here on this site, we have a little play button here, meaning that we have the same functionalities available on any browser, basically. So I can choose to select the 3D view of this project, and within the browser I can navigate through the entire 3D model and the 2D documentation as well. I can put it into full screen mode, and I can very smoothly navigate through. And as you can see, the same blue icons that we had within the mobile applications are available here as well. So I can open floor plans. The same smooth transitions are available here as well, and also the same PDF-based documentation is at hand. As you can see, the hyperlink technology is also functioning here. And besides just the 2D and 3D navigation, for this we also have a gamer mode. So let me just turn off this cutting of the building and make this drawing disappear. So with this gamer mode, you can right away with a keyboard and a mouse, or even if you have a controller plugged into your computer, you can navigate the project in case of a client presentation. Oops, I just fell down. In case of a client presentation, you can navigate around the project very smoothly and very easily. Just make sure you don't fall at the edge of your boundaries. Okay, so you could see that how easy it is to handle the web-based browser-based viewer of BIMx. And another advantage of it is that you can take this entire viewer and embed it in your own website, showcasing all your projects built into your website. And that's what we did with the help center, where we have, and this is the area where you can go and download both of these sample projects, and not just in BIMx format, but in AutoCAD format as well. So I encourage you to download, take a look around it, see how these projects have been built up. And here I have the BIMx version built into to a completely different site with all documentation. Again, very smoothly, very quickly, all navigatable and at hand. Okay, so let's take a look at and summarize what we've learned about the BIMx transfer site. So it's a central hub where you can upload your projects directly from AutoCAD, or you can even upload them manually. For SSA customers, there's a private storage up to 5 gigabytes, and you can password protect your models. And the really important thing and the big advantage is that you can embed and show your models on different websites using the browser-based version of BIMx. And at the same time, we also have a push notification system built into between the BIMx transfer site and your mobile application, so that you always get the most up-to-date version of your projects. For example, if you're on a construction site. So yeah, and plus the gamer mode, which can be really cool in case of client meetings. You just give them the control, and then they can go nuts and discover their projects. Okay, and now I would like to show you a little bit about the future, which is also already somewhat here, and that is BIMx Lab. And I would like to show you what we've been working on in the past year. So we recently realized that there was a limitation to BIMx's capabilities, simply because of the limitations of the hardware that they were running on. Most of these mobile devices have a limited memory, and it can handle up to a level of models. So it cannot handle really huge models, which a lot of our clients are handling. So in case you are designing a huge project, BIMx may fail you simply because of the limitation of the hardware. So we went on and started to develop a brand new engine, which we now call BIMx Lab. It's free to download for iOS users at the moment, but we will merge this engine into the regular BIMx application as well. So let me switch to this BIMx Lab to showcase you how it can handle large models. And as you can see, I also have a push notification here, because I have changed, just to jump back a little bit, there is an update to my previous project. I'm not going to open it now. What I would like to show you is the Hungarian State Opera, which recently participated in a renovation project. And it's a huge and very detailed project that was done by one of our Hungarian clients. So you can see that this is a pretty huge model with a lot of very delicate details, from statues to columns and so on. So you can see that there are a lot of delicate details. And this new BIMx Lab engine is working with a new technology called memory streaming, which means that only those elements are loaded which are visible for the viewer. So if you take a look at it, yeah, even this is still pretty fast. As you can see, as I'm turning, it's building up the backgrounds. So if I take a look at the top, in the auditorium, you can see that it's building up as I'm turning. This way we can save a lot of memory and only display what is actually necessary. So it's not displaying anything that is behind me, because simply we are not using that. and if I turn, it incrementally displays all the model parts that that are necessary. Right now, BIMx Lab is a fully functional BIMx application. So we all have the 2D documentation, the transitions, the measuring tool, even BIM Cloud messaging has been implemented here. So right now you can use this for free, and later on we will merge it into BIMx, into the regular BIMx. And at the same time, there is a case study about this project online, so you can check out this this website, and you can even download this very project onto your BIMx Lab application. If you scroll down, you can find it at graphisoft.com/users/case studies. Okay, so let me summarize. So now you might be a little bit confused that we have BIMx, we have all kinds of versions, BIMx Lab, BIMx Web Viewer. So I would like to clear up what versions are we talking about, what are the different versions available. So on one hand, we have BIMx and BIMx Pro. These are the free and the paid versions of the application. In the free version, you can use it for showing your design and communication. So we have the 3D and the 2D content with the hyperlink technology, and even you can use the BIM Cloud integration if you have BIM Cloud for messaging. But for advanced functionalities like the BIMx presenter and the measure tool and the various cloud printing solutions, there is BIMx Pro for $49.99 and also there is a lot of other functionalities coming in here. One of those is the integration with external database. We recently implemented an API technology for BIMx that allows, for example, IoT developers to connect BIMx to various other applications or external databases to use it as a front end for their own systems. And on the other hand, we have BIMx Lab that is available currently on iOS. It contains now all of the functionalities for free now, and later on it will be later on this year it will be merged into BIMx and BIMx Pro to utilize this new memory streaming technology. Okay, so I highly encourage you to go to the Apple Store and the Google Play Store, download BIMx and try it out on your own project, or go to the Help Center, Graphisoft Help Center, and download one of our sample projects to get a feel for it and get the hang of it, and then actually start using it in remote presentations or client presentations, or just send your project to your client via BIMx. It's a really good time saver and communication booster. So you can feel free to pause the webinar and just take a QR code, and which will navigate you through to our sample projects. Just try them out. And thank you very much for your attention for now. And let's have a Q&A session. I hope you have good questions for me. Thank you.